Well, hate speech in sports has surged over the past year, according to a tech company here in Edmonton that specializes in firewall protection on social media. They've been using artificial intelligence to track trends and set up their own benchmark to measure it. With Areto Labs is Casey Machin, who joins us this morning. So, Casey, can you first of all tell us about what your hate speech index is and how it works?
Yeah, sure. So it's basically a global benchmarking system, sort of like a consumer index that we use to be able to track online abuse in all of its various forms across multiple different leagues and across really the world. We're a global company. So gathering all of that information and being able to use that to benchmark, see different trends, but also, you know, it's a way to shift the conversation from sort of that, yeah, we know it's happening, but now we see how much the volume, and then what do we do about it?
Okay. So first of all, where are you seeing this uptick in hate speech? Is there specific targets?
Yeah, I mean, generally it's increasing year over year. I think about by like 120%. But in certain categories, specifically around sexism, transphobia, we're seeing spikes year over year. I think 220% increases year over year due to a number of different reasons, but obviously just the explosion in women's sports, which is not only attracting a diverse audience, but then obviously disproportionately targeted, and some of those conversations are taking place online.
Okay. Now, can you tell us about the role that betting is going to play in this, or is playing in this, because it's becoming a bigger and bigger part of professional sports?
Yep, absolutely. We've seen a huge surge in the amount of online abuse due to betting. In fact, I think a couple of years ago there was a stat that came out that over 35% of high-profile athletes had received some form of extreme online abuse due to someone with a betting interest. And so it's sort of this interesting thing, one, because online betting and legal betting has just sort of come into the foray, especially here in Canada and North America. But also just because of that and the amount, the volume, there's all sorts of different sort of complex intricacies at play when it comes to online sports, but especially for brands, sports brands, global sports brands, and then obviously athletes, as I was saying, huge surge.
Yeah, people emboldened by somehow having a stake in the performance of these athletes all of a sudden.
Of course.
Yeah, now let's talk about, because you mentioned it earlier, what do we do about this now that we have the data? Absolutely,
and great question. And that was something really that sort of drove us to create Areto Labs. We all know it's a problem. We can see that it's a problem. We all realize that this is a problem, but the amount of manual labor that it takes to really effectively manage and moderate your feeds, especially if you're a global brand, is tough, and it's getting harder and harder every day, especially with different rules and regulations that come into play, platform changes, obviously. We've all been talking about those. So it's really hard to keep up, not only with the manual labor of it, but also its impact on your mental wellness and your performance. And so that really is about shifting the conversation from knowing it's a problem to doing something about it. And so at Areto Labs, that's really what we've created. So being able to moderate and automatically manage your feeds based on best practices and global standards, obviously, but being able to do that effectively really does increase engagement. You're able to grow diverse audiences, and that's critical, especially for underrepresented players or underrepresented leagues that really rely on those revenue streams in order to bring in not only audience but engagement and revenue.
Yeah, it's a fascinating conversation. Much more to get to, but for now, we're going to have to leave it there. Casey, thanks so much for joining us and providing some insight. If you'd like to learn more about Areto Labs, you can go to aretolabs.com.